Hey, welcome back, beautiful people. Hopefully, you guys are doing great today. So, for today's video, I wanted to talk about The Last of Us Season 2 and give you guys my thoughts on it. So I do have some notes here that I will be taking a look at. So, just bear with me. Um, but yeah, I want to break down each episode and go through what some stuff that I just really didn't enjoy. In general, this show was not good. The game was great. I loved the game. I thought the game was really good. I think they could have done a different route with the way they killed Joel. They could have made it feel more earned and satisfying, but we'll get into that. So I want to start with episode 1. So the start of season 1, they kind of just reused a scene from the last season with Ellie saying, Joel, you're not lying to me. You were telling me the truth of what happened in the hospital and yada yada yada. So it wasn't like it was a bad scene, but I feel like that scene could have been changed to be something better. They could literally took the scene that they had in the game with Tommy and Joel sitting in the garage talking and cleaning the guitar and everything. I thought that scene was very powerful between brothers. Joel telling Tommy what happened and stuff like that. I thought that was really well done. I really wish they would have done that. So they changed that, which I thought really wasn't that good. We'll get more into Tommy in this show because they kind of made Tommy take a back seat, which is really dumb in my opinion. Then we get to them showing Abby. They showed Abby super early in the show, which is fine. I don't mind it. I just wish they would have done it in a better way. Kind of give more the audience of why she's doing what she's doing. They kind of really do that. They kind of just show her, Graves, and saying we gotta kill him slowly. Oh, okay, sure. Then we get to see Jesse. You see the scene where Ellie is fighting a bigger guy than her, which she says, "Oh, don't pull the punches." Are we serious? He absolutely should pull the punches because he would knock your ass out. Hey, let's be real here. He would knock her the fuck out. Ellie in this show was very, to say the least. I just felt like she wasn't taking anything very serious. It wasn't like there was a switch in her to change. She kind of was still acting like Ellie from season 1. I don't know why they did that. It didn't fit, basically. But yeah, the actor they chose for Jesse, really good. Looks just like Jesse from the game. That's a 1-for-1. And then, what was it? They did a scene with Dina and Joel interacting. I actually liked this scene. I thought it was really well done. I enjoyed it. I think that was a nice touch to add, which we didn't get in the game. We didn't get any interactions between Dina or Joel in the game. So I think this was really good. This added another element to pretty much everyone's relationship, right? Because the whole town saw Joel as this guy who's always doing a lot of stuff for the town. So I did like that scene. I thought that was really good. Then we cut back to Ellie. She was just being very, very annoying. There was a scene with Tommy and her went out shooting, which, if I remember correctly, this happened way later in the game to where Tommy and Ellie are out hunting and they're talking about some stuff and like that. In the show, it seems okay, I guess. It's what she does after that kind of irked me. She keeps asking about going on patrol. he wants to do it, yada yada yada. And he's like, I don't know, Joe really doesn't want you to, and he's like, well, I should be able to. Dina does this shit all the time, and stuff like that. But it's what she said after that was that she screamed out she's immune. Ellie in the game would never do some fucking shit like this ever, ever, because she knows how important it is to. It's crucial that people don't know that she's immune. Like, this was something that in the game they established. It said, do not tell anybody you are immune at all. Like, you just don't. Her screaming that out. What if someone fucking heard her? Yeah, you're really far away from top, but still, what if someone heard that shit? It's like shit like that just like, this don't make sense. This is not Ellie. This is not Ellie. It's not. I didn't like that. I thought that was really dumb. It made Ellie seem like an asshole, basically. And I guess that's what they were going for, I guess. But it didn't sit right with me. Then we get the whole therapy session scene with Joel and this new therapist. This is like a new scene that they added in the show to, I guess, put drama, right? But I was not a fan of this. I thought it was fucking retarded. Excuse me if I said that. Sorry. I thought it was dumb. I didn't agree with the scene because it's really making Joel look like the bad guy for what he did to save Ellie. In my eyes, Joel's not the bad guy. He's not. He did what he thought was right. And I agree with him. If I was in his shoes, I would do the exact same fucking thing. And it's crazy because in the game, if they would have done the scene with Joel and Tommy in the garage talking, Tommy says, I don't blame you. I would have done the exact same thing. So, like, Joel's thinking is not dumb. It's any guy would do what they thought was right, and that's for a whole nother thing with that. I'll get into the whole cure and stuff like that later. But yeah, the whole therapy scene could have been cut, in my opinion. I just felt like they were trying to make Joel seem more like a bad guy in this scene, so I didn't like that. Then we cut to them going on their patrol. Ellie, Dina, and another 3 people. Ellie's ex is there. That's who's like the commander in that spot for them and stuff. And then they see blood. Dina and Ellie ride off, of course, so they're chasing up. And then they're like, oh, we gotta go in. They're telling them, no, nah, it's not. I don't think so. And they go in and stuff. They don't listen like she said she was supposed to listen, which is also a gripe of mine because Ellie wouldn't do this. This is not Ellie. Maybe young Ellie, yeah, but even then, not really. But this Ellie wouldn't. This is supposed to be a more mature Ellie, 19. This is supposed to be a step up to maturity for her. The show didn't do that. It kind of just made her feel like Ellie from season 1, which, why would you do that? She's supposed to have grown basically as a person, right? But they didn't. So it is what it is. Then they go in, they kill these clickers or whatever, and then it's just, I don't know, the fact that the fighting seems so off to me is because it's like she has to jump on their backs and stab them, right? But she shouldn't be struggling to kill them. It should be with ease, and the game is with ease, But it is what it is. Then we get the next scene, which is the stalker scene, which I liked. I thought it was really good. It was really good. It was very intense. It was like, that's what we're looking for. Those are the moments we're looking for, right? These intense moments, right? And this was really good. I enjoyed this, I thought it was a really good scene. I liked it a lot. I wish they would have saved it for later. We really in the game didn't get introduced to these new ones until way later. Then we have the council meeting. Fucking dumb. Why are we having a council meeting? Because of what happened? What? I didn't like that part being added. I thought it was dumb. Then we have the dance scene, which was good. It was definitely a one for one from the game. It really didn't change much. I will say the shove though on Steph, that was a hell of a push, man. That was a hell of a push. That push should have been in the game. That man went flying. I mean, he put all his force in that push. Really good. But I will say that the line delivery from Bella Ramsey as Ellie in that scene wasn't it for me. It kind of just felt flat. Like there wasn't really a lot of emotion. And it just kind of felt flat. It kind of just said like she was saying her line, really. That scene could have been better if the line delivery was much better. I mean, first episode was okay. It was okay. It definitely could have been better with different placements of certain scenes. Hey, but it is what it is. Let's go on to episode 2. So episode 2, they changed. This is the episode where Joel dies. Spoiler alert, if you don't know, Joel does die. He does. So this is where they changed a lot of stuff. Some for good and some for bad. So for Patrol, they changed Dina to go with Joel and Ellie to go with Jesse. I'm not a fan of it. I kind of wish they would have kept it the same like in the game where Tommy and Joel went out for patrol and how everything transpired after that. I would have liked that more. So yeah, we get that with Dina and Joel. Rhino Horse is out there and everything, and you got Ellie and Jesse. They go to it looks like a pharmacy store, and that's where they find the weed or whatever. And then we get mentioned Eugene. Of all people, Eugene. That's who we're adding in here. Eugene. Really? I think that was okay. I'm not a fan of this whole Eugene type of thing because in the game Eugene died by natural causes. In the show they're making it as Joel killed Eugene. I didn't like that because they mentioned it in the therapy scene in episode 1. Because she got upset, she blamed him for killing her husband. We'll get more into that later. I don't want to stay on the whole Eugene topic too long. So they changed this scene, because in the game it was Ellie and Dina in that area, right? And they're kind of building this relationship, talking and stuff like that. She's learning more about Ellie because at this point, Dina knows that Ellie is immune because of how they changed it, right? But I will get into that later because they change how Dina finds out. We'll talk about that more. So I kind of didn't like this change because I really wish they would have kept Ellie and Dina because this would have helped build the relationship between them. Show that, they're starting to kind of fall for one another, right? They did that a little bit better in the game. They build up the relationship between Dina and her, which I did like. I did like how they showed Joel getting caught of being Joel, right? In the game, it was weird because Joel kind of just said, "Oh, hey, I'm Joel and this is my brother Tommy." Joel would never do some fucking shit like that. Come on now. They're talking about Joel? Really? Come on. He would never do some shit like that. But in the show, it's done pretty well because he saves Abby just like in the game and everything. But instead of saying his name, right, when he gets there, Dina's like, Joel, where are you? Joel, we gotta go. Joel, let's go. That made more sense, And then Dina's like, who is this chick? Where did she come from? What the hell? So then they have the whole lodge scene and everything of them. She's saying, oh, I have a place people are, you can stay there and then we can regroup and go and stuff. So then, as that's happening, the Horde is still trying to break in, and then in episode 1, I didn't mention it, but there's these pipes, and then they have these I think it was cordyceps. I can't remember if it was cordyceps or not, in the little plant things, and it's like it activates. That never happened in the game at all. That never happened in the game. I mean, that's a cool thing to add, but I think that worked better in the show compared to the game. So then we have this Horde scene flying at the camp. I liked this scene a lot. I thought it was really good, very intense. It's kind of what we needed, right? It was really, I enjoyed this scene a lot. I thought it was really good. This would have been really cool to do in the game, but pulling it off in the game, I think would have been a lot harder than it is in TV form. But I thought this scene was really good. Then after that, we have the whole big Joel kill, right? This scene to me didn't hit the same. I felt like, I don't know, it was something about it. It didn't hit the same. It kind of just, I was like, whatever. I have no emotions and I have no stake in it, really. It just, I don't know, it felt different from the game. I don't know, it's because of, in the game, Abby was straight to business, right? This Abby in the show, bro, she kept yapping. It was a yap fest. At one point, Joe said, yo, shut the fuck up. Hey, let's get this over with. If you're gonna kill me, kill me. Like, literally, dude, just do it, right? So Ellie gets there and everything. She does it. Line delivery, again, it's very bland. Joel, get up. Joel, get up. It's very bland, like, there was like it didn't feel like it was like raw emotion being put, right? Like, if there was like a lot of emotions being put, and like Joel carried the entire scene, obviously, but I was hoping Ellie would like really like come out with a lot of emotion, but we didn't really get that. I will say I do like the touch of her crawling to him, because in the game she gets knocked out. In this, she doesn't get knocked out. So I do like that fact that she crawled to him and she put her arm around him. I liked that. I thought that would have been nice to put in the game, but it is what it is. So then, Jesse comes and gets them and everything. So then they go back and stuff. But also, Dina didn't do anything in that scene entirely. So why the fuck was she even there? Because Tommy in the game actually fought. Tommy fought, man. But they put Dina to sleep for an hour with this medicine. It's very specific. It's very specific how they did it. I don't know. It was kind of weird. And then I mentioned Abby was talking way too much in the scene. I don't know. The scene kind of dragged. And then they changed the way she killed him. She stabbed him in the neck, like in the back of the neck with the thing, because it broke. At one point, she was punching his body too. Kind of, I don't know. It kind of felt goofy at one point. It felt kind of goofy. I think in the game was done a bit better how to handle the death, because that blow was like, it felt like a real blow, yeah. Episode 2 wasn't the greatest either. It definitely could have been better, They're changing a lot of stuff from the game. The horror scene, fantastic. That was the best scene in the entire show. Honestly, best scene in the entire show. But yeah, let's move on to episode 3. Episode 3, we have the opening scene of Tommy looking at Joel's body, and I thought this was an okay scene. I didn't think it was bad or good. It was okay. I think I would have liked more, maybe like as he's looking at the body, they have a flashback, Tommy and Joel, like having a brotherly moment, right? I think that would have been more powerful, to show the dynamic between the brothers, right? So then you have Bella Ramsey, Ellie, screaming, because she's remembering what happened. And then we have 3 months skip and everything, and then the therapist comes, talks to Ellie. I don't know why the therapist is still there. They talk, whatever. Ellie's kind of being an asshole and stuff. And then Dina goes to visit Ellie after she goes to see Joe's house and everything, and they're talking, and then she brings her cookies as an offering and stuff. And then that's when Ellie finds out that Dina knows more than she was letting on, and she's known for 3 months and didn't say anything. Crazy work, because Dina in the show was super ride or die for Ellie. I mean, super ride or die. If she had any information, she's not waiting 3 months. Mind you, she is not waiting 3 months to tell her, hey, I know who did this, you know? So yeah, I didn't agree with that. They kind of changed Dina from how she is in the game. But hey, whatever. And then they showed us the scars hella early, by the way. They showed the scars and the whistling and stuff like that, the family and stuff. Which they didn't even show what happened to them, and just off screen. Okay. Really dumb. Like, if you're going to go this far of showing them, show us what happened to them. Show us the action. Show us that. You know? So then after that, we have this whole community scene where they're taking a vote if they should go. Wait a minute now. In the game, there's no community scene. There's no vote. There's no nothing. Tommy leaves a note for Ellie on the table saying, hey, I'm gone. If you want to come, I'm going to be in Seattle, right? So the game is, you're basically trying to catch up to Tommy. You're behind Tommy. Tommy's already gone. Tommy's on a mission. They made Tommy in this show fucking horrible. It is not the same Tommy from the games. This is a totally different Tommy. They didn't have Tommy leave to go and try to find his brother's killers like he did in the game. They changed it, right? Because that stupid scene with this community vote. Ellie don't give a fuck about no vote. Ellie was like, I'm gone. Like, I am so ready to go and tear this shit up. That's the Ellie we should have gotten, you know, in this. So they had their vote or whatever. It came to no, basically no. Which, yeah, they were going to say no. That's the whole. They were going to say no just so Ellie can go off by herself. So there's another scene where Ellie's getting her stuff together, and Dina comes and is like, oh, do you have all the stuff that you need? And then Ellie's like, oh no. This show has also made Ellie feel like she's fucking stupid, which is mind-boggling to me, because Ellie's in the game, Ellie's a very smart girl. She's very fucking smart, very intelligent, you know, because she learns so much from Tommy and Joe and a whole bunch of other people around her. And she's seen stuff. So it's like, she's not dumb. She's very smart, right? Why is the show making her feel like she's a fucking idiot? I will never understand that. That is so dumb to me. Why are we dummying her down? Like, Ellie knows this stuff. She's very intelligent. I don't know why the game, I don't know why the show did that. I just don't, you know? So essentially they leave and everything because Steph ends up helping them. Steph was the only one that voted who like stood up and went off saying they killed one of ours. We need to go kill one of theirs, you know, basically. Right? So he volunteered to help. He gave her a gun or a rifle or something like that. And we had them get on the horse scene, and then there's this whole segment of them going through. I don't know, it's kind of boring. And then you have the scene where they're talking. Oh, no, wait, let me go back. Sorry. You have a scene with Tommy talking to the therapist. It was a whatever scene. I don't know why this therapist is getting so much screen time. In my opinion, I'm like, why does she keep getting so much screen time? Like, she's kind of a nobody. I'm gonna be honest, she's a nobody. Because if this lady wasn't in the game, Eugene was not very important in the game, whatever. So then after that, you know, Steph gives them horse, they leave, whatever. Then you have this whole segment of them going through a whole bunch of stuff. They find the scar bodies. Dina throws up, indicating maybe she may be pregnant and stuff like that. And I believe this is when she did the pregnancy test, whenever they found one or something like that. So you have this whole tense scene where they're talking and stuff, and then they're asking, "Oh, how was the kiss?" and stuff like that. And she's like, "Oh, it was okay." And then she's like, "Oh, you could probably go back with Jesse." And she's like, "I already did." Wait, what? Are we serious? It's crazy because in the game, I'm telling you, Dina was ride or die for Ellie. I mean, super ride or die. Like she was really on that Ellie train, right? She would never do some shit like this. So it's like, wait, so you're saying after the kiss, you went right back to Jesse? What the hell? You kissed me and then you went right back to Jesse? That's crazy work. I'm saying that's crazy work. So then we have after that, right? Pretty much nothing else happens. That's it. They make it to Seattle. Blah blah blah. Episode. Um, it wasn't okay. Nah, it wasn't even okay. I thought it was dumb. It was to me, this was probably the poorest episode. To me personally, I thought some changes they did, I didn't like. I really didn't like too much. It could have been better. It could have been better. But the whole vote scene, cut that shit. Tommy not leaving for Seattle was crazy work. I don't know why they changed that. I don't know why they are nerfing Tommy. But from what I heard, there's gonna be from way this ended of season 3. That's when we're gonna get all Tommy's scenes. Dumb, fucking dumb. Makes no sense because I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm just not. Episode 4, we have the Fedra scene of them in a car talking and everything. Whatever. It was a whatever scene, kind of a throwaway scene in my opinion. They all end up dying anyway. They got killed by their commander, so it was whatever. Then we have Ellie. We go right back to Ellie and Dina, and there's a tank there. Ellie opens the tank, but this chick opens it and slams the cockpit door, right, of the tank. Slams it. Are we okay? Are we okay? Like, I'm telling you, they're making Ellie dumb, bro. I swear. They're making Ellie dumb and a terrible fucking character. Ellie would never do some shit like this. She wouldn't. She just wouldn't do shit like this. So, I'm not a fan of that. I thought that was really fucking dumb. Because you don't know if there's fucking clickers around, the runners. You don't know what the fuck is around. So why are you making all this fucking noise? So that was fucking dumb. Granted, there was nothing in it. Nothing happened, Dina has her gun looking around and stuff like that. And it's like, this was so dumb. Then we get the guitar scene of her singing and everything. Yeah, 1 for 1. Didn't have a problem with it. Wasn't bad or anything. It was just her playing the guitar, singing to Dina. It is what it is. It was an okay scene. So then after that, we have the news scene where they go and they find these bodies hanging and stuff like that. Really good scene. I did like it. I thought it was good. It's very intense. Then we have enemies coming in, and then that's when they have this fight scene between her and Ellie. Again, Ellie can't fight. In this show, Ellie can't fight. Like, it's so apparent that Ellie can't fight. She can't fight. She jumps on a guy's back again. She jumps on his back. She's still fighting like season 1 Ellie. Season 1 Ellie kind of had to do that. Jump on people's back to kill. Ellie in the game didn't have to do that. She was a badass right off the bat. This one, not so much. So yeah, that scene wasn't that good. So, yeah, wasn't that good. All right, so then we have them going into this tunnel, which, granted, this was a pretty good scene. Very intense. One thing I didn't like was how Ellie was shooting the gun. It felt very goofy and wonky to me. Very goofy and wonky. Like, it was like she's making all these faces. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Come on, what are we doing? Like, uh, it, it felt off. It felt very goofy. It wasn't this moment was supposed to be very serious. This was a very serious situation. And in the game, Ellie was alone. Dina was not with her in this, so they added Dina to this for reasons being because this is when Dina finds out Ellie is immune because when they're running, right, they have those I don't know, damn, what are those doors called? The doors that move, right? When you're like trying to leave the train station. So Ellie goes through, but when Dina's coming, it's struggling. So they're pulling it and she's pushing. And then a zombie runs up. So Ellie puts her arm out to get bit. So she gets bit and she saves Dina in the process. And then they find a theater. Okay? So they get to the theater and Dina is holding her gun. Like, hey, you got bit. I'm going to have to kill you. You know, and she's like, wait, no, I'm immune. So she tells her she's immune. She's like, look, just watch, just wait, I'll show you. So then they have that water's dripping on her, and they make it look like she's like turning into one of them. But she's like, wait, no, it's just water. It's just water. That's it, water. Okay. Then after that, we have a sex scene between the two of them. Awkward sex scene, by the way. It was so out of the blue. Just so out of the blue. Like, yeah, let's have sex after everything that just happened. And mind you, she got bit. So yeah, let this girl just finger blast me right here on this fucking dirty floor with her infected hands. What the hell? This is so it felt like this scene was so forced for no reason. Like, this didn't have to be there. I'm gonna keep it 100. You didn't need it. You honestly didn't even need to have a sex scene between them. If I'm being real, you didn't need it. The game completely cut it. They kind of went where Ellie and Dina had it. It was black. It went to a black screen. You didn't need that. So then we get this dumbass, stupid ass scene. Next was when basically Dina tells Ellie she's pregnant, and she shows her the pregnancy test, and Ellie's like, what's this? Are we serious? Excuse me. You are telling me Ellie doesn't know what a goddamn pregnancy test is? No. Why are we making her feel like she's a fucking idiot? Why? This irked me so bad because I'm like, Ellie's smart, man. Why are y'all making her dumb? I did not like that. I thought that was dumb. But this takes the cake. So they're talking about it, and then Ellie's like, I'm gonna be a dad. Oh my God. Who signed off on that line? Who allowed that line to be approved? I'm gonna be a dad. Are you kidding me? Are we serious? Because if I remember correctly, when in the game where Ellie finds out that Dina's pregnant, Ellie is very, very upset with Dina because she's like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me earlier? We could have turned back. We literally could have turned back. And Dina's like, oh, I didn't want to be a burden. And then Ellie hits this fucking line. Well, you're a burden now. Like, we didn't even get that scene. We didn't even get that. Like, oh my God. This is when, to me, the show took a turn for the worst. It was already bad, but this really changes the whole dynamic of the show. It doesn't feel like it's a revenge plot at all. It seems like a teen romance, right? Like, it just, I don't know, a lot of this stuff felt so out of place. And mind you, when in the game, how Dina found out Ellie is immune was when they were on patrol together, right? And something led up to where Ellie's mask got broken, right? And Dina had her mask, and there were spores in the air. And um, Ellie, Dina is trying to give Ellie her mask, and Dina's like, Ellie is like, no, 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 don't give it to me, don't give it to me. I'm immune. That's how we find out. That's a very high intense moment. This, yeah, it was intense, but I felt like the way they did it in the game was way more intense. You know, because in that beginning, you were doing so much shit doing that patrol. So this made, I don't know, it just felt better in the game, in my opinion. I didn't like that. And then the whole, I'm going to be a dad. What the fuck? I don't even know what to say, honestly, for that. I really don't even know what to say. I just don't. And then they get the call that, you know, about the where Nora is and stuff like that, whatever. Throwaway scene, in my opinion. So, and then Dina's going with her. That didn't happen in the game. Whatever. This episode, god awful. I'm gonna be a dad. God awful. Episode 5. We have that opening, the opening scene of what was it? It was a lady and her I guess her boss. I guess they were talking about what happened in the lower levels, how she sent her team down there, blah blah blah. Boring ass scene, in my opinion. Her son basically was the one who went down. She's leaving. I'm sorry about your kid. Yada yada yada. It was a whatever scene. I really wish they would have showed what happened. I think that would have been very good for the audience to see what you're talking about instead of explaining it to us. That to me would have made more sense. So, yeah, that to me would have made more sense. It would have been cool to have it as like they're talking and you're seeing the background of the team moving in, right? And then they're starting to see all this stuff, and then that's when you're getting the call and the like. To me, that would have been more intense. That would have been perfect for them to see. Whatever. So then we cut to the scene where Ellie gets the lights on and she's running up, goofy ass. I got the lights on, and Dina's like, okay. Dina's over there triangulating where the fuck Nora is. Dina's the one taking this shit more serious than Ellie. Ellie's supposed to be the main character, but Dina's basically being that. Dina's like, we're on this revenge shit, you know? Ellie didn't really seem like she was on it, you know? And then Ellie's like, what is that? What is what? Why are y'all making Ellie dumb? Why? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Why are we making her feel like she's a fucking idiot and doesn't know what the hell she's doing? I don't like that. I didn't like that. This scene didn't like. I think it's weird because it's making Ellie feel like she doesn't care. It's almost like Joel isn't even in her mind anymore. She doesn't even talk about him. She doesn't mention him. She doesn't have PTSD. And the games, she had PTSD because of what happened. She struggled so much with it, you know? She was a lot darker after Joel's death. She wasn't as light as she used to be. She didn't really tell much of jokes. She kind of was just like, Like, she was going through it. And she's happy. She turned some fucking lights on. What fuck did he do? Okay, you turn some lights on. Whatever. Like, it made no sense. So after all that, you know, we get to this whole, they didn't really have a plan of how they're gonna get there. They kind of had a plan of how to get there, but once they got there, they didn't really know because they didn't know what was inside, right? So we get there, they go through and everything, and then they start seeing those stalkers. Okay, and then that's when Dina's like, wait, that's those smart ones, right? They call them the smart ones instead of just calling them stalkers like they were in the game. Whatever. So we have this scene. This scene is very telling because, again, Ellie can't fight. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, Ellie can't fight. She's getting her ass beat. She's getting her ass handed to her. In the game, she was a total badass. If for some reason the show can't translate that, I don't know how they can't. It's very simple. Make Ellie into a badass. It's not that hard. It's really not, you know. So Ellie's getting her ass handed to her and stuff like that, and then lo and behold, Jesse shows up to save them. Which, if Jesse didn't show up, they're both dead. They're both dead, you know. And mind you, Ellie knows Dina is pregnant. She should have made Dina's ass stay back at the place. She should have made Dina's ass stay back. It's that simple. Why are you putting her in harm's way like that? And again, once Ellie knew that she was pregnant, gone. She said, no, your ass is going back. I'm doing this on my own. What she did. So he basically finds them, right? And I'm not gonna lie, it was a really cool scene, but I was also wondering, how the hell did he find them? And the way they explain it in the next episode is kind of crazy, but hey. Anyway, so then they're running and everything, and then they change the scene. So in the game, they have this scene where she comes across the scars, right? And I believe at this point she really doesn't know who the scars are and what they're about. She gets shot with an arrow in the game in her arm. It was very intense. Very intense. I really liked it. It was very intense. In this show, they changed it to where Dina gets shot with the arrow. And then Ellie and them split off and stuff like that. I was like, are we serious? Why did we change that? Why? Whatever. So then we have Nora's death. I didn't care for this. Again, the delivery was so bland. I don't know. It just didn't feel right. It was not believable. That was the problem. I think her killing Nora wasn't a believable scene. In my opinion, it wasn't believable. I honestly didn't believe that she was a badass doing this shit. It was just not believable, in my opinion. It really wasn't. And then that's it. She kills Nora, and that's pretty much it. I didn't enjoy it that much. She really did sound like Batman. Where is she? Like, okay, calm your roll, Batman. You know, there was just so much wrong with this episode. Again, a lot of stuff could have been better. I just think the writing is fucking awful. I really think after I'm gonna be a dad, fuck this whole show up. It really fucked this whole show up, in my opinion, because it changed the whole. It seems like the whole plot of why you're out there is gone. It's gone. It really is. It really is. All right, moving on to episode 6. So I thought this was episode 6 to me was by far their best episode. The opening scene between Joel and his father was great. I thought it was really good. The acting was really fucking good. This was a good flashback. I really wish we could have gotten more flashbacks for Joel in the games. I really would have enjoyed that a lot. That would have been cool. Then we have the whole Joel, we get to go back, where it's this episode is a flashback episode of all the flashbacks basically. So we get the whole cake scene, you know, he helps Steph, he gives some Legos or whatever, cool, and he bakes her a cake and stuff. Why the hell did Ellie eat the cake like that? I don't get it. That was very childish in my opinion. Whatever. So we have the scene where, before that we have the scene where Joel is crafting the guitar. That was really well done. That was good. I liked that touch. That should have been in the game also. That touch alone should have been in the game. So we have that. He gives her the guitar for a birthday and stuff like that. He sings the song, right? It was okay. Wasn't bad singing. It is what it is. So they have that and everything. There was a whole bunch of other birthdays and stuff. Then we have the big museum scene. Great scene. I think this 1-for-1, perfect. This 1-for-1 was so well done, really well done. I really did like this. I thought this was a really good scene. I'm glad they didn't change much of anything with it. They kept it the same. I liked it that. So the whole her getting in a spaceship with the helmet on, perfect, perfect. And this is the thing is, her being young Ellie worked. Bella Ramsey killed it as young Ellie. This scene was perfect. Older Ellie, mature Ellie, not so much. Not so much. So after all that, right, we get to when Joel takes Ellie on her first patrol. Okay? And then as they're going through a patrol, something happens. They end up having to go and find Eugene and his crew, whatever. They find Eugene, and then Eugene says he's bit. And this is where a lot of stuff really pissed me off, was that, first off, Ellie would never question Joel's like this. Joel's like, no, you cannot go back. We have protocol. And Ellie's like, wait, no, he can go back. He can go back. He's fine. He's fine. Ellie would never step over Joel in this type of moment, ever. This is a very serious moment. And Ellie understands. In the game, Ellie understands that once you get bit, you turn. She's seen it with her best friend. She literally seen it happen to her best friend. So it's weird that the show is making her act this way. I didn't like that. I thought that was fucking dumb. So then she makes him promise that he won't kill him. Yada yada. So Joel takes Eugene out to see the view, right? And he kills him. As he should. He was not going to make it. He said he has an hour. God knows how long he's been out there. We don't know. He does not have an hour. Because once he starts turning, you have to kill him right then and there. So what difference does it make to kill him now? It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a fucking difference. I agree with Joel. Would done the same fucking thing. So they get there, and Joel's telling, his wife, oh, Eugene was a great guy, but he got bit, and he didn't want to get you infected, so, we had to, And then Ellie's fucking dumbass says, no, that's not what happened. Joel killed him. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? Ellie would never do some shit like that. She would never do some fuck shit like that. Why? Oh my God. I don't know if the writers hate Ellie or if the writers hate Joel, but why the fuck? Why? They're making Joel seem like he's the bad guy. Joel is not the bad guy. Eugene was a fucking nobody in the game. Eugene was literally nobody. They didn't interact with Eugene, man. They didn't. Eugene died by natural fucking causes. This whole plot adding this fucking wife and therapist was so fucking dumb. But what really irked me was that Ellie snitched on him. Are we serious? Ellie would never. Yeah, no matter how mad she was at him, Ellie would never do some shit like this. She would never in the game. So her doing it in the show irked the fuck out of me. It irked the fuck out of me. Then we get the whole porch scene. I really liked it. I really wish they would have added this in the game where he said, I love you to Ellie. I thought that was very good. I really did like that. And that's it. That's the show. That was not the show. That was an episode. The thing is, it was a good episode. It was good up until the point where Ellie started acting fucking it irked me a lot with how they did Ellie in this show. It really did. Then we get to the grand finale, season finale, right? We have the opening scene of when she comes back looking for Dina, and Jeff's like, where were you? Where are you? She's like, where's Dina? Oh, she's Ellie, where, And then we have the whole back scene, the one they took from the game. This shit ain't believable. Like, you added this scene, right, without showing the build up to how this shit happened, right? Because in the game, Ellie's going through this shit like crazy, bruh. When I say, I mean Ellie's going through it, bro. So it makes sense for Ellie to have those bruises on her back. Those are battle scars. In this show, there ain't no fucking battle scars because she ain't fight no fucking people. I can count on my hand how many people she fought. Literally, 2. Yeah, Nora can't really count as a fight. She didn't really fight Nora. Nora was very a one-sided thing. You had, let's see, we had the one guy, I can't even fucking remember. But it was like, I think it was like 2 or 3 people she killed. She killed some clickers. They had that big fight where Jesse saved them. But even then, this whole backseat makes no fucking sense. Makes no fucking sense. And then when she's telling Dina, you know, that she killed, blah 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 blah. It feels like Dina kind of is disgusted. She kind of looked at her with like, she didn't look at Ellie the same. That will never happen in the game. Dina didn't see Ellie as like doing anything wrong. Dina was I'm telling you, ride or die, bro. Ride or die. So they have this whole scene where Ellie is telling her, crying and stuff, and Ellie cried a lot in this show. I don't think she cried that much in the game. If my memory serves me right, I don't think she cried that much. Then where was it? Tommy. Yeah, and then we have also Tommy off screen. You know, because Jesse has said that Tommy and him came up. So after all this, Jesse and Ellie leave, right? Because they're gonna go find Tommy. This is when Jesse finds out that Dina is pregnant, right? I didn't like this scene. It was done better in the game, 10 times better in the game, because it felt like this Jesse was he was angry about it, right? In the game, it wasn't like that. In the game, you've had Ellie scene. You see her back. She's going through shit. She puts her clothes on. She's walking through the theater and everything. When she sees Jesse watching over Dina, then they go upstairs and they're talking. And this scene was very good. They're just talking like fucking friends, right? You know, like I found out. She's like, well, she can't keep her food down. She won't, you know, and she's pregnant. And Ellie's like, yeah, she's pregnant. He's like, oh, okay. And he's like, basically saying, we should go back. He's like, I need you. Ellie's like, I need you to take her back. And he's like, well, she's not gonna leave if you're not leaving. Like it's that right there. It's very well done, you know. In the show, he's very angry because he's like, what the fuck, you know, why is he finding out this way, right? And he's very upset because it's like, why is she still here, you know? And then this is when she's like, well, how did you find us? And he tells her, you know, like, it didn't make any sense. It didn't make sense. He followed a trail and found this and that, and then boom, the theater. There it is, your map, and it. Oh, no way. That just wouldn't work. Because first off, you wouldn't even know where to start. You wouldn't even know where to fucking start, man. Whatever. It is what it is with that scene. So then, after they're walking for a while, they come across the scars. No, I think it was some soldiers chasing scars. Fedra, I think. Then the guy's like, oh, mother will blah, 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 see you, whatever. And if for some reason Ellie wants to risk her life saving this person, why? And Jesse's like, fuck no. Have you seen what these fucking people are doing? They're fucking lynching people and cutting their guts out. Hell no. I got a child on the way. I'm not putting my life in danger. Fuck no. And it's right. We shouldn't put our life in danger for some random person. And for some reason, Ellie wants to, makes no sense. In the game, Ellie wouldn't do some shit like that. Because Ellie is smart and knows, like, nah. It's me and me only. And me only, and my people. That's it. You know, that's how Ellie was. But in the show, she wants to risk her life with some random fucking person. Why? That was so fucking done. I'm glad Jesse told her to fuck off. That was, yeah. So then we have, the scene with the scar. And then we eventually get this scene between Ellie and Jesse. They kind of have a little falling out because she wants to go, because she remembers her, what's her name? Nora saying the Ferris wheel, right? So then she's like, I'm going to go here, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, we should get Tommy. And then they go their separate ways. Then we get this scene where she gets on a boat. Mind you, she was holding a gun. There were people walking across the board. She was holding a gun. I'm thinking, there's no way she's going to shoot, right? Thank God she didn't, because I was going to say, why the fuck is she shooting from that distance with that gun? Whatever. So she gets on a boat. Conveniently, a boat's there. Then there's a big tidal wave that brushes her off, and then she goes to Scar Island. Why cut this scene? This scene should have been cut, in my opinion, because nothing fucking happened to her. Nothing happened to her. She goes on Scar Island. She gets kidnapped. They're kind of strangling her up. And then some explosions happen, right? And they all leave. And they're like, leave her. Why the hell did you even put the scene there if nothing was going to happen to Ellie? Why put that there if nothing was going to happen to Ellie? If you were not going to either have them cut her or anything, why is she there? Cut that scene, in my opinion. Just cut it and have her going to get Mel and Owen. That's it. So when she gets there, you have Mel and Owen. You have their death scenes, which in my opinion, their death felt weak in the show. You know, she shoots at Owen, and it goes through Owen and it slits Mel's throat, right? And we have this scene when she finds out the lady's pregnant and stuff, and then she's sitting there crying. In the game, Ellie, first off, Owen tried to attack Ellie in the game. She shoots him, and then Mel tries to go and attack Ellie with like a surgical knife or something like that. And then that's when Ellie stabs her in the throat, right? And then that's when she finds out she's pregnant, and then she starts having a panic attack, like a panic attack, you know. And then that's when Tommy and Jesse come, and they get her like, hey, kiddo, you're good, let's go. We kind of got that, and then Tommy shows up with Jesse, and I don't know, it didn't feel right. It was like, it was no impact, really. And again, Tommy off screen. We have Tommy doing shit off screen. Didn't like that. Thought it was fucking dumb. So then we get there. They're having a moment, talking. And then Abby comes. You know what happens there. They run out. Jesse gets shot and killed. Yeah. If you knew that was going to happen from the game, I already knew. Anyone knew. Just how they did it, I don't know. Kind of whatever. Again, I felt like in the game, they kind of built Jesse up a little bit more than they did in the show. So, yeah. So, this scene didn't feel as good, I guess. I don't know. It didn't feel very intense, right? Again, line delivery was just not it. So then we get her saying, I gave you a chance, you wasted it. Boom, black screen. That's it. That's the season. That's it. My overall thoughts of this season, trash. It's trash. Some episodes were good. Joel's flashback episode was good. I think Joel being in the show was just good. I really enjoyed Jesse. I thought they did him a really good job in the show. I just wish they would have had more time to bake him like they did in the game. Dina was fine as Dina. I think could have been better, but she did what she did. You know, she did pretty good for what she did. Ellie, fucking joke. That was terrible. There's just no way This entire show didn't make her believable in the slightest. At all. Didn't make her believable at all. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, Ellie in the game was a badass. Right? Badass. Very smart. Very intelligent. In this fucking show, none of that was shown. None of that was shown. And you really threw it out the window with this I'm a dad scene. I'm going to be a dad. That, I don't know who thought that was a good idea to put in it. It's fucking awful. Fire that person. Fire that person. Yeah, I didn't like this show this season. Season 1 was great. It was, a lot of stuff was 1 for 1 from the game, but season 2, not so much. And then to do another season with Abby, good luck. Good luck with that, because they could have fit everything in season 2 if they would have done it smart and had more episodes. You know, you could have done 15 episodes. You would have gotten the whole game done. You would have gotten all done in one shot. But no, they didn't. So my overall score for this show, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Yeah, 4 out of 10. It wasn't that bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. But anyway, I would like to know, what did you guys think? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite part of this season? What did you guys think of Ellie? Did you like any other characters? What do you guys' thought on this whole Eugene thing? Yeah, I would love to know you guys' thoughts in the comments. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy. Go make sure to do something amazing. And I'll catch you beautiful people in the next one. Peace. Hey, if you guys enjoyed that video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to check out my other videos, they'll be listed here or in the sub boxes down at the bottom for you guys. But yeah, stay amazing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Say it with me now. Peace.